Welcome to another episode of Power Alphas. I'm one of your co-hosts, Sabby Piscitelli, and as always, I got my beautiful, beautiful, beautiful fiance with me, Mandy Saccomanno, better known as Mandy Rose in the social media world. How you doing, beautiful?
Doing great. Welcome, everyone, to another episode in our New York home. How are we feeling about the podcasting in our house?
I like it. It's our second one. It's very, it's more, I think it's organic. It's laid back, old fireplace. It is what it is.
It's nice. We're getting the hang of it. I'm getting a little bit better with like the tech side of things. I was, on my computer, like watching YouTube videos last night about podcasting at home and whatnot, because there's a lot that goes in involved. But today we're going to be talking about, what's going on right now in the summer in New York. We're enjoying ourselves up in New York. It got hot though. Yes. We're going to talk about our results with our Pernuvo scans that we received back. And also we have some spicy questions, a little Q&A we're going to do.
I love Q&As.
Yeah. So, it's kind of funny because, coming from Florida, Sabby and I, this heat isn't really that bad for us, but everyone up here is like, even at the deli today, like everyone was like, oh my God, it's so hot. And I'm like, it's hot, but I guess we're just so used to it.
What I don't understand is though, if you listen to people, they're always complaining.
Oh, it's too cold. I know.
It's too rainy. It's too hot. It's too windy.
But
for me, it's like I think people need to really enjoy like the roller coaster of the weather, right?
Especially up here, because you get the seasons.
You get the seasons up here. We don't get the seasons in Florida. But
I think I've been like really watching at my dad's deli, and I really think when people talk about the weather, it's one of those like conversation buffers or like breaking the ice. Like,
yeah, it's like breaking the ice.
It's like a guy comes in and it's like, oh, hey, hot out there, huh? Like even the boys do it. It's always like, oh, hot.
They want to like break the ice some.
Yeah, it's like a conversational thing, but it did get hot up there.
It did turn on.
I did.
The first couple weeks we were here, we were sitting outside. It was like, high 50s, low 60s at night. But it's been pretty hot this past week.
Yeah, it got up
high 90s, late mid 90s.
Yeah, but it's been nice. And, like Sabby said the other day, it's like Florida, we just kind of get like straight heat. At least like next week, it'll kind of like cool off a little bit.
Yeah.
We'll get some cooler days. And at least the nighttime in the morning, you're not like sticking to yourself. That's the one thing I do love about it.
I just care, and I've said this so many times, I don't care how hot it gets during the day, really. I just want it to cool off at night.
Yeah.
So you can put a pair of jeans on, a shirt, go to dinner. And you're not like you have to take a shower when you get home. Yeah, no good.
Swampy balls are never good.
But yeah, other than that, I'm excited. Summer's hitting. We're almost through June already.
I know, it's crazy. Time is just flying by. We have a lot of things going on this summer. We have, my bridal shower coming up. We have
your birthday.
My birthday is right before that. We also have our bachelor and bachelorette parties, which is more towards, end of summer, fall. But a lot of things going on, but it's been fun. And we got our results back from our Pernuvo scan.
We did the Pernuvo scan.
As you guys know, we did our Pernuvo scan. It's basically a full body MRI scan. We went into the city. They have a bunch of locations all around the country. And we got our results in 4 days, not even 5 days.
Not even.
All is well, thankfully, Thank God everything is good. No issues, no things to watch over. Just like normal things that like...
A little wear and tear. Yeah, I was actually, to be honest with you, I was very, very grateful. I had a couple of things in my spine. They took up some of my neck.
Yeah.
A little bit, some of my lower back. But, everyone has degenerated discs. Everyone has, some sort of... it's all about the symptomatical when it comes to the spine.
Yeah.
Thank God none of us are symptomatical right now. I had a couple other little things that was, it's funny. And I said this to you before. When I was young, and even when I was young, I played my whole career. I was a mouth breather.
Oh, he's a mouth breather.
But I was a mouth breather when I played.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm still a mouth breather.
Yeah.
But my scan did show I have a devious septum. What is it called? A devious septum? Deviated septum. Yeah. I have my left side, I have a little bit of a deviated septum.
Yeah.
And I think it's crazy. That's ironic because when I used to have pictures like playing in the NFL or college, or even when I was on that TV and you would see
Yeah.
me, my mouthpiece would always kind of be out of my mouth a little bit.
Yeah.
Right. And your mouthpiece doesn't come out of your mouth. But I would always like kind of like put it out a little bit because I couldn't breathe well out of my nose.
That's because you couldn't breathe
And
out
it's
your
kind of
nose.
crazy that I kind of found that.
They found that. It's really crazy because these scans really detect like, I mean, everything from head to toe. The only thing they don't detect that they actually told me on the phone today, I had my nurse practitioner call today with going over some stuff, is like plaque in your heart, which that's more of like a CT scan. So like I like learning a lot about this.
Yeah.
Like because both our, our parents have had CT scans. So they told me that. But they said, any nodules, any kind of cysts or anything like that that could come up. It's just really interesting. And, I always, this is kind of funny. I always complained a little bit about like a pinched nerve, sometimes. And I know a lot of us get it. Sometimes I get numbness. I've been training for, over 10 years, bodybuilding, wrestling, all that. So I feel like I always knew I had some sort of impingement. And a chiropractor one day or a physical therapist or whoever it was said that it's like, sounds like you're describing like your C7, C5. So I used to joke around with the NXT girls, and every time like I had like, pain or whatever, they would joke because I one time said like, oh, it's my C7, but like, I don't know the technical,
It was.
Yeah, technicalities. But they like in JC Jane, for instance, she'd always be like, it's C7, like, oh, it's her C7. Like we joke around about it. So like I have to send them like, guys, look, really, my C7 is a little bit like impinged. But
no, I think, it's funny. I don't want people to listen to this. I don't want people to get alarmed if they do this scan, if they do MRIs. I think it's actually an alarming thing. You go get an MRI on your back or your neck, and the report will come back and say like degenerated discs. They'll say like a protruding disc, stuff like that. The thing is, we all have that.
Yeah.
We all have some sort of, arthritis or degeneration of the disc, dehydration of the disc. It's more if it's symptomatical.
Yeah.
And sometimes if the disc is protruding in that canal of the nerve, then you'll get symptoms of the nerve, bothering you. But like, don't get alarmed by it. Don't get scared by it. When it comes to the spine, you always want to, see a chiropractor, on a weekly or monthly basis. I recommend that. But, I think like my brother, I remember my brother wanted to get MRI and the doctors were just so blunt. Like, oh, well, you have this, like arthritis, this. And like, you get scared originally. You're like, hold on, what? But it's everybody has the protruding disc. Everyone has the degeneration disc. So if you do get the scan and you get that back, don't get super alarmed.
Yeah, the nurse practitioner.
It's not symptomatical, just kind of,
symptomatic. Yeah. The nurse practitioner said that. She said that we all like as we get older, it's like really, really common. So like it's nothing to be alarmed by. So I was happy about that. Both of ours came back really, really great. So that's good news. And then like, we'll wait a few years and maybe do another one. It's just good to, like be proactive about, your body and, we take care of our health and we're so into working out and all these things. It's like, you have to make sure you take care of the internal as well.
Well, it's something like, I mean, we thought of it before, but, I like the preventative of it because I was reading, and I don't know how accurate this is. I'm not a doctor. Don't quote me. Internet's got a lot of people trying to state health facts that are totally wrong.
Yeah.
But I did read an article, and I had a buddy who went through cancer, and they actually said to him that the cancer was in him. They found it earlier this year, and they said it was probably there for 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
So, the reason why I like these scans is because you get something at the ground level if there is something, because a lot of cancers get caught late,
right?
But they're in their body for like 3 or 4 years already. You just don't even know it.
Yeah, because it doesn't always come up in your blood.
Exactly. So like for me, it's like that's why I would like this scan, because now even people are like, oh, I don't want to do this, I don't want to know, because it is scary. It is a little scary.
No, it is for sure.
But it's one of those, you find something really, really early, it's not a problem to solve it.
Right. So even like a nodule or something like those things, that doesn't always mean that it's cancerous. Like if you have something, you watch it, you get it tested. Okay, great. It's benign. Yeah, like it could be benign, and then you just kind of watch it as you go, and you could maybe do things that could prevent the growth, it growing or whatnot. So we really enjoyed it. It was such a seamless, easy experience for us. And like we were in there, an hour there and back, because we had to go to the city. It was very seamless, and it was a great experience. So thanks again to Pronuvo. We also have a discount code, guys, that we'll put in the comments section as well. And it's all over social media as well. So we also went to our wedding venue
Yeah.
last week and we did like a kind of like a final walkthrough to see where everything's going to be placed, like the table arrangements, some flower, floral arrangements, where people walk in, where they walk to, all these different things. It's such a beautiful venue. We're so excited. We got to go like during every season. So I feel like it was so beautiful to see all the flowers bloom and during, spring, summertime. So are you getting excited, babe?
I actually was getting really excited when we went there last week. You're actually starting to realize that like it's all going to come together in like 4 months. And I was getting like teary eyed at one point. I actually had to walk away a little bit at one point when you were sitting with the wedding planner and we were talking about stuff because I don't know, it's just like surreal. It's just you get to marry your best friend, you get to marry the love of your life. But also it's like we made a comment when we were driving back. It's like there's not a lot of times in life. They always say like a wedding and a funeral, but when is the time enough you get everybody that you love and care about in one room?
Yeah,
like
it's true.
when do you ever get everybody that you grew up with, everybody that that influenced you, that had a positive impact in your life, everybody you care about. That's what I think is beautiful about weddings as well, right? Not only you get to marry your best friend, you get to marry the love of your life, you also get to enjoy a weekend, or they say, a 5-hour party. But I like we have a nice weekend plan, but I think it's a beautiful thing because I think it's just going to be an exciting weekend. You're going to have everybody you love, everyone you care about, everyone that helped you become the man or the woman you are today. And everybody had an influence, some sort of influence. I know we talked about this before.
For sure.
In my groomsmen, I had 10 groomsmen. And I feel like every groomsman in my wedding party was kind of like a snapshot or a section of my life where they have a huge influence on me becoming the man I am today. So I think that's what is special about the whole wedding weekend, right? It's not just about the love I have for you. It's about having your family, your friends, and everyone together in the same room.
Yeah, for sure. It's sharing the love that we have with everyone that we obviously love and care about, and everyone that we've grown up with, and whether it's family, friends, extended family, and it's going to be exciting. Like I have a pretty big family, so we have our wedding's going to be close to 250 with everyone. You have a ton of friends. Obviously, a lot of people from Florida are going to be traveling, so like you said, making it like a whole weekend is going to be a lot of fun. We have a little uneven number here for groomsmen and bridesmaids, but we're going to make it work. We're probably going to double up a little bit. We were actually laughing one day. We were trying to figure out like who's going with who. Because we have a lot of characters in both parties,
I think that's going to be exciting when we do those.
Well, just think about it. We have obviously NFL people, we have UFC people, we have WWE people. Like, and think about it. Like, we have
that's true. It's a good
all
point.
these sports across the board, men and women.
Yeah, all this different avenues of life.
Different avenues of life. So it's like kind of interesting, like who we're pairing with who, and it's just going to be a great weekend. And I think we both kind of got like the jitters a little bit this weekend when we were there. When you start to see things kind of come to life, obviously we didn't see it, our things like our floral arrangements there and stuff like that. But I think we're one step closer. And I will say having a wedding planner is a must.
Yeah,
she's not agree.
Good. She's good.
She's good. And she's also just like very, very organized. Like I think I showed you it briefly, but like our wedding planner was Margaret Rose. She's actually does a lot of weddings in Florida and New York, which is cool and good to know. But she has like a play-by-play by the minute of like our itinerary for that day. And I think that's so important because I know that it sounds crazy, but like there are a lot of things that need to get done that day. And you joke around about like us starting hair and makeup at like 6 a.m. But like for all these women to get done, all my bridesmaids, your mom, my mom, junior brides, all these people, it's like it's gonna take a while for the photos. And, Sabby's big thing, which I 100% agree with, and I'm fully on board, is we don't want to miss anything in our wedding, like the cocktail hour. So we want to take our photos prior to everything. So we have it strategically set up where we'll all be ready by a certain time. We're all going to take our photos. We're going to do our first look. We're going to do all those exciting things. And then once the ceremony comes, we get married. And then afterwards, we all go straight to the cocktail hour because where we're getting married, are like known for their cocktail hour, Park Chateau. And we both are not missing that. And it's like, also like you pay all this money for this like long party, obviously. And it's like, you're going to miss part of your wedding.
Heck no.
I'm all about photos. Listen, you know, I
Yeah.
come from that world, and if I ain't got my photos, we'll be in big trouble. But we're going to have our photos, but we're going to make it work where we get everything done. So if we got to start a little bit earlier, you know, it's everyone's going to put their game face on. And
Yeah, I know. I haven't seen that minute by minute, but
I know,
first of all,
you.
I have a confession to make, and I'm going to say it on the
Oh, boy.
podcast.
I'm scared.
I have to give all credit to Mandy because I haven't really dealt with the wedding planner. I haven't. I'll be honest with you. Mandy will ask me questions, and I'll give my 2 cents if she wants them. But
well, I do laugh.
He just tells me what I owe, and then that's about it. But
I tell him what the money is.
What the money is. But at the end of the day, it's you know, I will say I'm grateful to have such a beautiful and proactive wife. I know she or future wife. Sorry, you know.
Right.
But no, I can't take no credit for the wedding planner. I cannot. No, I
wasn't going to
stay
go
out of it a little bit.
I wasn't going to go to you.
But man, you can relate, right?
Yeah.
Come on, man. Support me on this. I need the comments on this. But I almost think sometimes though,
it's
if
better.
you bring me in on stuff, then it's gonna be like fighting and this and that.
Well, I don't mind that you're not, and because if I did mind, obviously you would know about it. I don't mind that you're not involved in stuff like that, especially when it comes to like floral arrangements and stuff that, like, no offense, but you don't really quite understand.
Yeah, I don't know about all flowers.
And I think you're gonna, like, you know, like,
yes, I
have a little mini heart attack when you see a bouquet of flowers.
When she told me the price of the flowers, I was like, "Yo, I'll go out and pick them myself."
I know.
What are you talking about right now?
But I will say, I have no problem with you being not involved in that. But that doesn't mean that you have like a say when you see something like, oh, why is that like that? Well, if you weren't part of the planning,
you're still running stuff by me, but
of course,
like the cocktail hour. The reason why I don't want to miss that either is because first, let's be honest. The food here is going to be tremendous, right?
Oh, I agree.
Like the cocktail hour, in my opinion, is like the best part of the whole freaking meal prep part. So for me, it's like, I want to see, we have so many different stations. We have so much good food, drinks. And I feel like the cocktail, even when I go to weddings, I love a good cocktail.
Oh, it's the best. Right? I eat more in the cocktail hour.
Exactly. We all
do. Start drinking and
so,
like dancing.
Yeah.
It's kind of like,
for me, I think we're going to have to start a little earlier.
Yeah, no, it's totally fine. And I don't mind. I mean, like I said, it's great having a wedding planner just to like plan out your day, and also just like think about the things that you may forget about, or you may like, there's just a lot going on. I have so much going on in my life right now. For me to like think I could plan a wedding right now, it'd be no. And we started early.
But you do a good job. You stay on top of her.
No,
you're very involved with her. She is very good. So,
well, one day Sabby was like, I was like stressing out about something, and he was like, why are you stressing out? We have a wedding planner. And I'm like, yes, we have a wedding planner, but she gives you the options of things, and then you still have to choose them and go through vendors.
I gave you all the credit.
We were laughing about it that day though, because I was like, oh gosh, she thinks that I'm like, you know, she's just doing everything. But anyway, we're excited. It's going to be a great weekend. And yeah. So we have, I know we asked a lot of questions. I asked questions on my social media. I did a little Q&A, and we got a lot of people asking questions. So we're going to, kind of rally them all, in a way.
I love Q&As.
Yes. First we do have our emails, though, I want to get to, before we go to our questions. So first email. Dear Mandy and Sabby, Lucas here. Loved hearing your Otis stories last week. That's a big hit. I would love to hear about another WWE moment I can't get over. When we were introduced to you in Tough Enough, any behind the scenes moments or things you can share about that? Oh, I do have a good story, actually. Behind the scenes moment that I've never shared on any other platforms before, during Tough Enough specifically. So as you all know, on Tough Enough, I became like the bitch on the show, right? That was like a gradual progression. It wasn't like I started off being a bitch on the show from the get-go. So what happened was, it's a reality show. I've never been on a reality show before. It was very new to me. The girls and the guys, you know, we all know we got to create drama, but like I was never a person to like steer up drama or steer the pot or like just be in that circle in real life, especially in like high school and all that. I don't like confrontation, you know. I really don't like fighting. I'm not into that. So like it was kind of new to me to like become this reality star and also like create drama situations. So I just like focused on the goal, which was the main goal for me was like, okay, show my athleticism, show that I can work hard. I train really hard. You know, this is a competition show. It's kind of like a road rules type challenge show. So I just like worked my butt off. Obviously, like one of the competitions in the Orange Bowl, Citrus Bowl in Orlando, I was like the second place person out of the guys and the girls. I was like first place in the women. So like I obviously was showing my athleticism and I was like killing it, doing all these things. And I was like, I was nice still though. I was like being nice to everyone. So one day, which I always think back and thank them for doing this because it kind of like changed the whole trajectory of my Tottenham career and WWE career. Lita, Amy Dumas, I said I got same. And Chris Jericho one day sat me aside and it was like still the beginning, kind of towards the middle, I would say, of the series. And they said, you know, listen, everyone loves you. You obviously are the total package, at least from the get-go. You know, you have the looks, you have the personality, you have all these things, you have the athleticism. We think, you know, without wrestling experience, we think you can get there eventually. It's going to take time. But there's one thing you're like kind of missing. And I was like, oh, good. And they told me that they were like, you need to like bring it more. Like you need to bring that sass. And I was like, oh. So in my head, of course, I'm thinking, I'm like, oh, but I'm nice. And like, I don't know. It's hard for me to be like mean, whatever. So they told me that. And they said like from higher ups too that are watching, like just to help you out a little bit, you should really, you know, create a little drama. It's a reality show. Create
Stir some shit up.
They wanted me to stir some shit up. So I thought it was really nice that they obviously helped me out in that sense because it's a reality show and you could have all these tools, but if you don't have like, if you're not like creating drama,
you're not connecting. Yeah.
Yeah, connecting or the fans are just like, they're just like, oh, she's cool. She's athletic. She's hot. That's great. But like, she's not creating a buzz, right? So then Mandy Rose.
Oh, Mandy Rose came.
Mandy Rose was born.
Wow. That's a good story. You never told me that story.
Well, you know, when I saw this email earlier, I put a little thing in my notes right there too, and Lita and Chris Jericho. And I was like, oh my God, that's such a great story to tell because I've never told this story to anyone.
It's a good story.
And it kind of changed the whole trajectory of my career because really from the get-go, I was just, you know, being me. I would say more Amanda Saccomanno. And then the character Mandy Rose, which was always in me, like we always say.
They brought that bitch out.
They brought the bitch out. And I always had that like New York sass, right? Yeah. And the Italian sass. But I just didn't, it was hard for it to come out, you know, because I'm a really humble, nice person in general.
That story.
So after that conversation, I went into the barracks and I sat there and, you know, the wheels were turning and I was like, oh, this is time to bring shit. So the next day when we were filming, whatever it was, I can't remember exactly what the scene was. I brought it.
You brought it?
Brought it. And, then before you know it, I'm trending. Everyone's talking about me. She's such a bitch. Oh my gosh. Where did this, you know, whatever. Both I became that like hot bitch that didn't give a shit about anything and knew my shit didn't stink.
I love it.
But it got me, you know, to where I am. And I'll never forget they said, you know, because it's a show that people vote on, you may not win with the voters, with the fans, but you're going to win with the upper management. And that was my okay.
You didn't win the show, but you won overall.
I won overall. And I think really what put me on the pedestal and like really changed things was putting me on Total Divas right away.
Of course.
Because that was obviously, we all know Total Divas was this reality show that like non-wrestling fans watched and they found it really interesting that they could see the behind the scenes. I think that's like how the Bellas got so popular on there as well because people just loved to see the women, you know, create drama and see the behind the scenes in the wrestling world. So
they love to see that behind the scenes.
Yeah, of course. Email number 2. Hey, Mandy and Sabby, the pod is one of my favorite things to watch every week. Mandy, I know you don't plan on going back to the WWE, but can you please go to AEW? Like, is there a reason you aren't with them? We miss you so much, Lauren. Well, Lauren, thank you. I appreciate that. There's no reason I'm not there. I just haven't decided on if I'm returning to wrestling right now. Never say never. I don't know exactly, but you guys will be the first ones to know. So we have some questions to answer. All right, babe, this one's for you. What do you do to help your mental health?
What do I do to help my mental health?
Yes,
It's a great question.
it is a great question.
Because mental health, I think, is a constant battle. And I think if you slack off a little bit, it could definitely go down south.
Yep.
What do I do for my mental health? My biggest thing is every morning I wake up, I pray, I meditate, I have the attitude of gratitude. I'm very grateful for what God has blessed me with. I always take a moment in time to just thank Him for you. I thank Him for our life. I thank Him for all my success. I thank Him for my health, my family. I think that's the first thing I do every morning. And then also before I go to bed every night, I get on my knees and I pray. And I think that keeps me grounded. I think that keeps me my connection with the Lord. I think it keeps me in a more of a grateful mentality because we all have things in life that we could be negative about.
Yeah.
But if you harp on that, then it's going to be a negative feeling.
Yeah.
So for me to really keep my mental health strong, it's that. And also, I've talked about before a lot of this podcast routine. Very strict on my routine. Monday through Friday.
Yeah.
We go to bed at the same time. We wake up at the same time.
It's okay to be boring sometimes.
It is, like we keep saying,
like my meals
be
right
boring
now.
right now. But honestly, so I think routine is very, very important for mental health. I also think attitude of gratitude is very, very important for mental health. And I also just be in the moment.
Be in the present.
Be in the present
Third
moment.
thing is
No, really.
present. Yeah.
The third thing I think I do is be in the moment. And I've never been great at that, especially before I met Mandy. Huh?
I changed.
Yeah, no, honestly, like I think as I've grown as a man, I've learned to be in the present moment. Now, like I said, it's always great to have goals, ambitions, and chasing dreams, but never get too far ahead of that. Enjoy the process of it. So that's a great question. And I think everybody's a little different in mental health, but I do think it's a constant battle. So don't feel bad if some days you don't feel as good mentally. Just get back on your routine, get back on your attitude of gratitude, be grateful for life because we're all blessed. If you're breathing, you're blessed. If you're over your head, you're
you
blessed.
woke up
Remember
today,
that.
you're blessed.
You're blessed. So great question.
That's a great answer. And also just like, we do preach of like, about being boring in a sense. And we mean it in the sense of like the routine, the nutrition, all that stuff. But like, it's good to have balance. You can slack off here and there and don't get down on yourself. But as long as you kind of get back, and, get back to that routine. So next question. And thank you. That was King Mean James.
I like it.
What is the secret to staying on track for so many years straight with the gym and your diets? Similar question a little bit.
Yep.
I'll answer that. I'm in prep right now.
Yep.
Honestly, the secret for staying on track for me would be straight consistency. And also the discipline. We all are motivated at times, but I think discipline is way more important than motivation because if you're not disciplined, you're not going to be motivated and vice versa. But discipline is everything. And I think like what I'm doing right now, I'm doing a prep, a 12-week prep to step back on stage with WBFF. So my biggest thing was I wanted to gradually get back into this. So from January 1st, I've been on a plan with my coach. It wasn't like a strict crazy plan. I have had cheat meals. I've slacked. I had ice cream. Like it wasn't strict, but my whole goal was to gradually get to that 12 weeks and then be like, okay, I could do this, or okay, I don't want to do this, but have like a plan and not just go from like eating shitty food to just like all of a sudden, diet and meal prep and all these things. So I just think the idea of consistency is always key. And I think that's the biggest aspect when it comes to staying on point with your gym and your fitness and your diet. Right, babe?
Love it. Love the answer. Absolutely.
Okay. Next question. Oh, and that was from LT2024X. Great question. Would I like to visit fans in India? I would love to visit my fans in India. I have a huge fan base in India. That's one of my top percentages on social media is India. So I would love to come to India. And that is from WrestleFan in it.
Maybe a trip to India.
Yeah.
Coming up in the future.
Okay, how important do you think previous relationship experience is in a relationship? This is from BD Girls.
How important is previous?
So like I think what he's asking is like how important is like your learning experiences from previous relationships to your current ones. Like, you learn through things like
I think the most important thing you can get out of an ex or an old relationship is the evaluation of yourself.
yeah,
Like
growing
growing as yourself. Even if you're the person who broke up with that person or the person that got broken up.
Yeah.
I think it's just learning more about yourself, things you like, things you don't like, things you love. What's your what's your signs of love? What do you like?
Love language.
Love language
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So I think relationships, every relationship you're in, I think is just an evaluation of yourself,
Right.
of learning more about yourself.
And I think everyone grows with time. So like I think everyone without a doubt grows and people change, right? That's only normal. But I think still creating, that whether you're with someone for a very long time, still kind of creating that we always talk about having, the spice still there and the dating.
Absolutely, yeah.
We date every week. I think it's still dating in a relationship, no matter if you're married for 30, 40, 50 years, is very important.
Very important.
But I do think your previous relationship does matter. Things that you may have bothered you in the past, you know not to do again, or not, or to tell your significant other not to do that. So,
Yeah.
Did you like watching Power Rangers from the
Power Rangers?
Oh
Oh man,
favorite actor.
love Power Rangers.
Didn't like watching Power Rangers.
Morphin' time.
Oh God.
Bro, Power Rangers. I think I was a Power Ranger for Halloween like 3 years in a row.
Definitely right.
My favorite Power Ranger, the White Ranger.
Oh,
was my favorite Power Ranger. I don't remember his name. Morphin'
do.
time.
Okay, thank you. That was TJ Blackabye. Do I miss Toxic Attraction? I do miss Toxic Attraction.
That was a great
My
group.
girls.
That was a great group.
What's the best way to ask someone out on a date?
The best way to ask me out on a date? It's a good question. Oh, what's the best way?
I think it all depends, right? I feel like it really
Did you
depends.
say ask me on a date or for dinner?
Date.
A date.
Yeah. Like, how'd you ask? Did you ask me out on a date? What was our first date?
I don't know, because I didn't know.
Was it the time where you made the salad with the extra garlic powder? No, that wasn't.
No,
a date.
that wasn't a date.
Did we ever have like an actual first date?
Not really.
No, right?
No, because we met out one night and then.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we didn't have an actual. I'm trying to think of the best way to. Don't
you have to like? I mean, when's the last time you asked someone out on a date?
I don't. Never.
I would say to that question, like it all depends on the person, and like nowadays it's so different because everyone's on these dating apps. So like honestly, we're the worst people to ask that question. That was a stupid one that I even brought up because we both haven't dated someone in years like that.
Honestly, just in my opinion, I think just ask them straight up.
You out with me? You want to go get dinner?
Just say, listen, I would love to take you to dinner.
Yeah, short and sweet.
Short and sweet. Get to the point.
Okay. How do you feel about going back to bodybuilding competitions for the first time in 10 years? This is from Nord Avenue. Nord Avenue, I feel very excited, a little nervous, not going to lie. It's been 10 years. I got to practice my walk.
I need to see this walk.
Yeah, I got to practice my walk. We wear like
don't slip, don't fall.
Don't even say that.
Don't trip, nothing.
Guys, would I not like make history if I slipped?
Please. I'll be so nervous for
Stop. You wear like 6-inch heels. So there's a lot of practice. I feel confident about that, even though there's still some time to practice. I'm feeling really good mentally, physically. It's a really good challenge for myself. I think it's great timing for me. We're up in New York enjoying family time, but also we have the wedding coming up shortly after. So I kind of wanted to get a little leaner for that. So I'm really excited and I feel great. Thank you for asking. Have you guys ever considered having kids? From McFarland Jonathan 23.
Yes. Of course.
Yes, we have considered having children.
When the time is right, we've talked about I think when the time is right. Well, actually, when
Is the
God
time right?
allows us,
Yeah, it's hard.
when
That's
God
a
blesses us with that beautiful blessing, we'll be ready. But
yeah.
I
You
think,
never. I feel like the time is never really that
yeah, but
right.
I
It's
think
a hard.
I think what's a beautiful thing, we have the ability to do a lot of different things in our life. And I
Yeah.
think when it gets to the point of us becoming parents will be a very exciting moment in life.
For sure. I agree. And I think the both of us are very similar in our, discipline and like just our careers in general. We're very driven. So the two of us like really wanted to do all, everything that we could do before we have children. Cause I know people that sometimes rush it and sometimes, whether they have regrets or whether it's tough out there nowadays having children. It's, very expensive and it's a huge responsibility. So we're both, going to be really excited. I think we're really going to be like, I know you're never really ready, but like we're really going to be in a good place when the time comes. God
Absolutely.
willing, obviously.
God willing.
Well, we're going to save these questions for other episodes as well because we love ending our episodes with questions. We love your guys' questions. We appreciate you guys listening. Don't forget, we are on YouTube as well as Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Also, OnlyFans TV, we are on as well, which I post some longer form content there. My coffee table book is still available. The link is in the bio. And my next signing will be July 16th, War on the Shore in Point Pleasant. We're excited for this new experience podcasting at home. It's not easy, but we're getting through it, and we can't wait to see you guys next time.